A single child's 100-minute video recording contains 185,000 frames, and scientists just discovered hidden signs of PTSD in every single one of them. This micro-expression discovery is so powerful that AI can now understand what children are going through even when they never speak a word. Welcome back to AI Handbook channel, where I expose the revolutionary changes happening in artificial intelligence every single day. By the end of this video, you will understand why this breakthrough could either become the most compassionate tool in mental health care or the most dangerous invasion of children's privacy, and why the way they solve the privacy problem might be more important than the technology itself. Right now, millions of children around the world are carrying invisible wounds. 78% of traumatized children cannot express what they've experienced in words. They sit in therapy sessions, staring at the floor, while therapists struggle to understand what's happening inside their minds. Traditional PTSD diagnosis in children relies almost entirely on what they can tell us. But what happens when words simply aren't enough? This is where the real breakthrough begins. But first, you need to understand the problem that's been hiding in plain sight. Dr. Allison Saloom from the University of South Florida's School of Social Work noticed something during her clinical trials. Child after child would sit in front of her, barely speaking, but their faces told entire stories of pain and trauma. Even when they weren't saying much, you could see what they were going through on their faces, she observed. These micro-expressions lasted only milliseconds, invisible to the human eye, but they contained crucial information about each child's mental state. The question was, could these fleeting moments be captured and decoded systematically? The answer would come from an unexpected collaboration that's changing everything we know about trauma detection. Dr. Saloom approached Sean Canavan, an associate professor in the Bellini College for Artificial Intelligence, Cybersecurity, and Computing, with a seemingly impossible request. Could artificial intelligence be trained to read the emotional language written on children's faces? Canavan, who specializes in facial analysis and emotion recognition, had the tools, but this application was unlike anything he'd worked on before. What they created together wasn't just another AI system. It was a completely new approach to understanding human suffering. But the technical challenge they faced would test the limits of both technology and ethics. Here's what makes their approach revolutionary. This AI system doesn't use raw video footage. Instead, it completely strips away all identifying information and analyzes only de-identified data: head pose, eye gaze, and facial landmarks like the position of eyes and mouth. We don't use raw video. We completely get rid of the subject identification and only keep data about facial movement, Canavan explains. This privacy-first approach means the system can detect emotional patterns without ever compromising a child's identity. But the real breakthrough came when they discovered something that psychology textbooks had been predicting for decades. The AI revealed something extraordinary. Children's facial expressions during clinician-led interviews were dramatically more revealing than during conversations with their parents. This finding aligns perfectly with psychological research showing that children often suppress their emotions around family members due to shame, fear, or simply not wanting to cause more pain to their loved ones. The system could distinguish between these different emotional contexts, providing therapists with unprecedented insight into when children feel safe enough to express their true feelings. But this was just the beginning of what the technology could detect. The research team built their data set from 18 therapy sessions, with each child contributing over 100 minutes of video footage. Within those recordings lay approximately 185,000 individual frames per child, each one containing subtle facial muscle movements linked to emotional expression. The AI models extracted patterns so minute that human observers would miss them completely. What they found in those frames challenged everything researchers thought they knew about how trauma manifests in children's faces. The distinct patterns were unmistakable once the AI learned to see them. But what those patterns revealed about the children's inner worlds was both heartbreaking and hopeful. The AI successfully identified consistent facial expression patterns in children diagnosed with PTSD. These weren't obvious expressions of sadness or fear. They were micro-movements, tiny contractions of facial muscles that happened unconsciously. Some children showed an inability to convey emotion at all, a kind of facial numbness that spoke volumes about their internal shutdown response to trauma. Others displayed rapid microexpressions that flickered across their faces for fractions of a second, fear, anger, or dissociation that they couldn't or wouldn't verbalize. This technology was giving voice to the voiceless, but it was also raising questions about what we do with this newfound ability to read children's emotions. That's where the AI could offer a valuable supplement, Dr. Salam explains. Not replacing clinicians, but enhancing their tools. The system could eventually provide real-time feedback during therapy sessions, helping practitioners understand when a child is experiencing emotional distress, even when they appear calm on the surface. This means therapists could adjust their approach instantly, creating safer spaces for children to process trauma. It could also help monitor recovery progress without subjecting children to repeated, potentially distressing interviews. But the implications extend far beyond individual therapy sessions. The research team is already planning to expand their study to examine potential biases across gender, culture, and age groups. They're particularly interested in preschoolers, where verbal communication is severely limited and diagnosis relies almost entirely on parent observation. Professor Canavan suggests the technology could benefit adults too: combat veterans, domestic abuse survivors, and anyone who internalizes PTSD symptoms. The applications seem limitless, but there's something even more significant happening beneath the surface of this research. What sets this research apart isn't just its technical achievement, it's the ethical framework they built around it. Published in Science Direct, this is the first study to incorporate context-aware PTSD classification while fully preserving participant privacy. They've proven that AI can be both powerful and protective, solving real human problems without compromising the very people it's designed to help. Data like this is incredibly rare for AI systems, and we're proud to have conducted such an ethically sound study, Canavan notes. That's crucial when you're working with vulnerable subjects. This approach could become a blueprint for all future AI applications in sensitive areas, but the most profound impact may be yet to come. We're witnessing the emergence of technology that can see pain that has no words, understand suffering that exists in silence, and offer hope to children who've lost their voice to trauma. If validated in larger trials, this approach could redefine how PTSD is diagnosed and tracked in children worldwide, using everyday tools like video cameras and artificial intelligence to bring precision and compassion into mental health care. But perhaps the most important lesson from this research isn't about the technology itself. It's about what happens when we combine artificial intelligence with genuine human compassion. When AI is designed not just to be smart, but to be caring. When technology serves not just efficiency, but empathy. The 185,000 frames that revealed hidden trauma in children's faces have opened a window into a future where no child's suffering goes unnoticed, where every micro-expression of pain can be met with understanding and support. This isn't just artificial intelligence. This is artificial compassion, and it might be exactly what our world needs right now. What do you think about AI that can read children's emotions? Are we creating a more compassionate future, or crossing lines we shouldn't cross? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more breakthrough AI discoveries that are reshaping how we understand and care for each other.